Catherine Ham, Brian Wilson, Brian Neiman, today's newsmakers, and you. The Morning Majority, 630.
WMAL.
7:37 on the Morning Majority. The bus is rolling. Is the economy rolling yet? That's the way it was supposed to work, right? As soon as you get those wheels rolling, everything's going to be fine. We've got Stuart Varney here to explain it to us from the Fox Business Network. How you doing, Stuart?
Mary Catherine, I'm probably doing a bit better than this economy. And that's an
Well, it wouldn't take
fact.
much, would it?
Well, the president is out on his tour right now. Let's lay that aside for a moment. He promises a plan in September to deal with jobs and recovery. Any predictions about what might be in that, or whether it will be written in anything more than speech form?
Look, it looks like same old, double down on what you've already been doing. That's what it looks like. And, of course, we don't know the full story yet, and we won't know until after Labor Day, but it looks like a repetition of the same kind of policies that we've seen already. Specifically, what pops out is this demand for an infrastructure bank, a huge spending plan on infrastructure, road building, that kind of thing. Now, that didn't work first time around, and we have the president on tape laughing about shovel-ready projects not being shovel-ready. That being said, it occurs to me that maybe this is a setup. I don't think that an infrastructure bank would pass the House of Representatives. I don't think they would agree to that. And then the president would be able to say, see, they won't go along with my job creation projects. It's their fault, and use that as the basis for campaigns in 2012.
He did jump to that idea on the stump, saying, well, and then if they don't do it, then they're putting politics ahead of the country. I wonder if there's anyone or are there any people he could have on his team now that his entire economic team has left him that would change his mind about anything, or would it just take a road to Damascus moment for him to have different ideas?
Look, here's what I think is going on here. I'm looking at this latest Gallup poll showing only 26% approval of the president's performance on the economy. Now, that's a dangerously low level. There's a real danger here that voters and investors alike lose confidence in the president's ability to turn the economy around and return us to prosperity. That's a danger signal. And it's no coincidence that this morning you're going to see a very big sell-off on Wall Street when that opening bell rings. There is a connection here. The president says, we're not going into recession. I've got a new plan. Down goes the market. And that's because there is this dangerous lack of confidence in the presidency itself and the policies that he's getting on with here. This is a dangerous moment, Mary Catherine. This is not funny, and it's most unfortunate that the president is leaving for an 11-day vacation on Martha's Vineyard just as the market tanks and just as there is this lack of confidence in leadership.
Yeah, a lot of people are criticizing the president for that, and they say it's not the right time. Besides the political optics of the thing, do you think there's anything he could be doing if he was at the White House, or should he be at the White House right now?
No, I'm not one of those critics. I don't join that club. If the president wants to take a vacation, fine. Heaven knows he takes the White House with him wherever he goes. I mean, the man is plugged in touch, second by second, and we all know that. I don't see what the difference is between being in the White House, the Oval Office, and being in a very nice place in Martha's Vineyard.
Yeah, $50,000 a week.
It's the 50, indeed. It's the politics of it that stand out, as opposed to the pure economics and power of it. I have no objection to the president going on this vacation, none whatsoever. I don't think it makes any difference whatsoever. But it looks bloody awful.
All right, so I'm sorry for being naive, Stuart, and I follow this stuff. What the heck is an infrastructure bank anyway?
Okay, let me see if I can get to grips with it myself. It is a large amount of money put on one side and allocated towards road building, bridge building, and infrastructure maintenance, like maintaining the track on our railroad system, upgrading airports. It's building projects, essentially.
It's just a stimulus. It's just another form of stimulus, then. It's just a spending bill.
It's precisely the same as those the $200 billion worth of shovel-ready projects which were in the original stimulus plan. But if you look a little deeper, Brian, what it really is a payoff to the unions. All of these infrastructure projects have to be built with union labor or labor which gets union scale and conditions of pay. So this is really a payoff to the construction unions who are themselves saying, hey, we're not going to appear at the Democrat convention in Charlotte, North Carolina next year because we don't like what you're doing to the unions. So there's an element of political payoff here deep down within this infrastructure bank.
I think Brian's missing an important distinction, too, which is that it's not a stimulus because it's called an infrastructure bank.
Right. It's got a new shiny name to it.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that I wasn't...
Same policy, new name.
Look, the administration believes with great passion that $1 of government spending creates more than $1 worth of economic activity. That is pure Keynesian economics. They're clinging to it, they're sticking to it, but a lot of people just don't believe it.
And I think you're absolutely right. I mean, what he's going to do here, it seems to me, is going to come up with a plan, and he knows that the House won't pass it, and then he's just going to say, look, I had a plan, it was going to be in place, it was going to do great things, and the House said no.
And that's the source of this lack of confidence. If the president is simply politically maneuvering as opposed to getting to grips with an urgent economic problem, then the markets, investors, and voters lose confidence.
All right, there's also speculation that there will be some kind of tax cut involved where it's an extension of the payroll tax or whatever. I'm curious, because as much as I love tax cuts, if it's only going to be 1 year or short term, I'm not sure that that's the best way. What we need to do is we still have a deficit problem. So it's just more spending if it's not going to bring in more revenue. I'm just curious of your take on a short-term tax cut, if that's the best thing for this country.
I would agree with you, Brian, that an extension of the payroll tax holiday for 1 year or 2 years will really not do very much. It hasn't done much so far. If, however, they are talking about lowering corporate income tax rates from the current 35% level, that's a good thing, because that may entice some money back to America. However, if they use the extra revenue that they would get from lower corporate tax rates, use that to fund an infrastructure bank and make the whole transaction revenue neutral, that's not good news.
All right. Stuart, it's always great to have you in the program. Appreciate your insights very much.
Thanks for having me.
Stuart Varney, host of Varney & Company, Fox Business Network.